Quincy daycare owner who was arrested in Atlanta, Georgia back in August on an attempted murder charge was in court today. He had a pre-trial detention hearing. QPD began investigating 48-year-old Carl Douglas II back in July after he was accused of ramming his car into his wife's car. This led to an aggravated assault charge. The investigation later led to new charges of attempted murder. In